if you're a young adult who struggles to communicate with people, who has a lack of social skills, man, the best thing to do is get to the gym, start building a nice physique, all right? Because when I was 18 years old, 19 years old, right, when I was in my depressive state back in 2020, I will tell you straight up that I couldn't do anything with my life at that moment. It was so tough for me. I was socially anxious to go outside. I couldn't talk to anyone. It was very difficult for me. Couldn't do anything by myself during those days because all I could do was sleep on my couch or on my bed. And it sucked because I lost so much opportunities. I lost so many days, time, and all of that really matters to me because I can never get back any of those, right? And the reason I was able to change my life, I was able to become more confident because I was a very shy, unconfident, introverted young adult. And the only reason I was able to change is when I started to improve my lifestyle. And it started with going to the gym and dialing down and building a great physique. Because you gotta understand, the reason you're socially anxious is because you have the lack of skills, you aren't confident, and you're not competent enough. Because if you're competent, you will be confident. All right? And you also gotta understand, here's a simple mindset shift. We are all artists. We are all storytellers. The reason I love to call ourselves artists is because artists don't have limitations. When you just say you're a human being, when people say they're just human beings, they start to think that they have limitations. But when you are a artist, you don't have limitations because you start to realize, hey, you could do anything on the drawing board. You could do anything on the canvas. And essentially, I want you to realize that, hey, you don't have limitations. It's all about your mindset, and it's all about how you really think about your lifestyle. Like, if you think you're socially anxious, of course you're gonna be socially anxious. But if you think you're a person who can really speak to high value individuals, then you could really do it, right? You got to start to understand you could do all of that. So the thing is, if you think you have a limitation regarding your social skills, like if you start to think you're socially anxious, you start to think that, hey, you're terrible at socializing, of course you're limiting yourself. Of course you're not really giving yourself the opportunity to really shine and get the opportunity to put yourself out there. See, if you're an artist, you start to not have any limitations. You start to think like, wow, you could really do anything freely, right? Which is the best thing you could do. It's all about changing your mindset and shifting it to a point where, hey, you're breaking your limiting beliefs and living the best life. And the reason I'm telling you to get straight into the gym is because once you start dialing in and building a great physique, you start to truly understand the beauty of having a great God physique, because that leads you to so many opportunities. That leads you to being more confident in yourself. That leads you to really sparking new conversations and gaining new connections. Because when you're so confident, all you could just do is just put yourself out there and have fun, right? Because that's the beauty of life. Once you're able to remove those limitations, once you're able to be confident in yourself, you start to really think that life is amazing. And that's one of the best things I did too. Once I got into the gym, once I built a really good physique, I was more confident. I was less socially awkward. I was less socially anxious. And nowadays, it's more simple. It's much more easier for me to just spark a random conversation with anyone. And another thing is, people will compliment your physique, all right? People will compliment your build as soon as you built up a decent physique within 1 to 2 years. All it takes is 1 to 2 years to build a really good foundation. So if you're socially anxious and if you lack social skills, put yourself by going to the gym, training 3 to 5 times a week consistently, eating clean, learning as much as you can when it comes to socializing. And another tip is pick up the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. Study it like it's a Bible. Study it like you really need to learn the concepts of socializing. All right, you got to put your heart into whatever you're doing in life. Okay, so just remember, take it easy and everything will be fine.